So, you travel through the woods, eventually come to a stone clearing. It's a clearing, you got like the stones around it, and it's like, well, here we are. Everyone just stand in the center.
I just kind of shrug and do as she says. She wants you all to stand in the center with me.
Kind of figured that
Okay.
by her talking and then you walking into the center of the circle. And I kind of walk up and stand next to him.
And you see as she like starts going around, and she's like slowly like kind of like touching the stones, and particulars, and those of you with the magic vision can kind of see that she's using some type of magic to infuse the stones.
Can I tell what? I can tell what type of magic it is. But it really matters.
Likely conjuration.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
But
The astronaut tell me it's conjuration magic.
almost like astronauts just kind of like that. And eventually it just takes a moment, but then you see as the area starts to get really bright, and it's pretty much completely white for a second, and then as it fades away, you find yourselves no longer in that forest, but in a completely different forest. This one is basically, you see it's a lot thicker with trees, and there's a lot more vegetation kind of growing out of it as well.
More vibrant colors, I assume?
Yes.
Quite lovely.
Kind of just like kneel down to the ground, put my hand on it.
It definitely feels it's like, you've gone in the grass before and you kind of like messed with the dirt before, and this time it just feels really different. It feels softer and more pliable.
I say in Elven, thank you for receiving us.
I made out like one word of that, or two. My training in Elven has not been complete. I kind of light up my my divine powers to make sure that they're still working.
Oh yeah, they are still working.
So, where to now, Esron, now that we're here?
Has the pixie followed us through?
Oh yeah, she's there. And she just kind of like points in a direction. She's like, you have to travel that way. It may take a day, but there's a city over there.
Will you be our guide?
Well, of course.
Thank you very much. And he just smiles over at Jennifer. She said she'll guide us through the Feywild.
Oh, good.
This will be much safer than traveling alone.
I whistle for Mila.
Okay, Mila comes out.
Good to know that you're here, buddy. They kind of pat his head and
Hi.
I hop up on him.
Yeah.
I kind of like cough, like jump down onto my hand as I walk with him. Welcome home, old friend.
Kind of gives out like a hoot as he kind of like nuzzles you.
I put my hand out to Kaldir. You want to ride, Kaldir?
Thank you, Jennifer. And hops up and...
Alright, lead away.
Okay, so she's flying. It's still like mostly a steady pace. Like our small body can only travel so fast. But you travel for a good portion of the day, up until you see like kind of like a figure a little bit in the distance, and it almost seems like it's like took notice of you and all of a sudden started rushing towards your direction. It starts going through some tall grass, so you really can't make out what it is. You just see like the tall grass moving back and forth as you saw like a shadow of something, and it started running towards you.
Okay.
Does it seem big?
No, it's like you've kind of got like the tall grass in front of you. It kind of comes up to like probably your chest. So he's running through that, and you can't see him above it. So he's not really big.
Esron, Should we
Everyone
be
stay-
worried?
Stay calm. Let's see what happens.
And then eventually, out through the grass, you see this person pop out. It's like half man and then half goat. He's just like, "Oh, you must be new around here."
Hello.
Oh, good day. Good evening. I'm here to invite you all to a wonderful experience.
Don't tell me his name is Thomas.
If he starts playing the pan flute and a lion's roaring out of a fireplace, I'm out of here.
I want to invite you all to the theater.
Wait, there's a theater here?
Oh, yes, it's a wonderful theater. Music, dancing, all the fun, and food you can eat.
I step in front, between the satyr and everyone. I'm afraid my company and I will have to decline your invitation.
I mean, that does sound
I
like
do-
a lot of fun.
I do apologize.
What be? I'm sure whatever it is, I mean, it can possibly wait. The theaters experience you just can't leave, can't come here and not see.
As it stands, however, we do have an invitation from one of the agents of Titania, and we would hate to keep them waiting.
No, well, very sorry then that you have to miss out on this wonderful experience. Do return and welcome you anytime.
We shall take it under deliberation. Thank you very much.
Also, I mean, you certainly want to go that direction.
Positive.
Okay.
So,
Just when the wolfmen come meet you, tell them I said hi. And he just kind of like sinks back into the tall grass.
bye.
And I kind of just walk back to Jennifer. Not a good idea.
Why? Okay, Esron. Why are you
Mhm.
singling me out on this? I was being nice.
I'm just letting you know that was one of the dangerous things I warned you about.
A theater?
You don't understand. The theater, as you know it, is... Well, recall when I told you that some experiences may leave you so entertained that you stay watching for the rest of your life.
Oh. Alright, I've got it. Anything that
Yes.
comes out and wants to have fun or anything, I probably should decline.
Yes, just say no, and we can trust her because she feels indebted to us. But nothing else here feels that empathy.
So this place is basically a Jennifer trap. This is a trap for me. This whole place... Alright, let's just go.
If you start smelling things like sweet buns and cinnamon rolls, ignore it. And I just keep walking forward with our pixie.
Calder, who's still sitting on Mila with me, I'm like, Calder, I'm not liking this place already.
As we're walking through it, though, he is like looking around with like a look of. It's the most relaxed you've seen him after getting the news that his mom's been taken. Because he's just looking around, taking in the sights, and every now and then he'll whisper something in Elven out of earshot as he runs his hand either along a tree or a leaf of a bush.
So you continue to travel, traverse the area, and eventually, it does eventually start to get dark here. But unlike some nights in the material plane, the sky is completely clear and you can just see like a mass of stars in the sky. She's like, well, I think we should be okay to camp here for the night. if you're all tired.
Ah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You say it should only take us about a day or more.
Yes, we should be there tomorrow, close to the evening.
What manner of city is this?
It's somewhat like the cities that you have on your world. It's
Ha-
home to the some Eladrin.
Ah, an Eladrin city. That'll be very interesting. Has it felt like we've been heading in the direction of either Vlosa or one of the towns?
It does feel like you probably were heading in the direction of Flosa.
Alright, just making sure. And as we're camping for the night, I actually ask our little pixie friend. I typically use magic as a form of protection for me and my allies as we sleep. Will that offend the grounds here?
No, I think it should be quite alright. If it does, well, I
I'll
don't
simply
think it will.
cancel it as soon as it seems perturbed.
That sounds good.
And he casts the tiny hut for everyone, making sure she was in as well so that she can come and go as she pleases.
Okay, so Esron sets up the tiny hut.
Yep. And I kind of just lean over to everyone. The city she says she's taken us to is one of the cities of the Eladrin, the elves that chose to stay within the Feywild after the return.
Alright, are they friendly to other races?
They will treat you with respect so long as you treat them with respect.
Okay. Every other time we've met an elf that isn't, you know, on either from our plane, I've had issues with them, or they've had issues with me.
We'll see. I can't speak for them, and I can't say I recall any times in my life or previous lives where they were quite dissocial, so I suppose we'll find out. Good night, everyone.
Alright. Once again, do pray to Ronis and, nothing just real quick, see if they've heard anything about a trade for Commander Maddox or anything. It's only been like 1 day or so, but
This time you kind of get Leo this time. And he's just like, Jennifer, don't worry. Things like this take time. Anticipate at least a week, possibly more, before they reach out for first contact.
alright, well, I mean, I'm in the Feywild, and Esron said that time's kind of weird here. I was just making sure that you guys weren't like, oh, it's been 100 years or something crazy, because I can't get a straight answer on that one.
Well, Jennifer, it is true. Time at the Feywild can be quite erratic, and sometimes lifetimes can pass while you're in there, and other times it's the opposite, where no time has passed when you return.
Alright. Well, thank you, Leo.
You're welcome, champion.
You do know you can call me Jennifer, right?
I know.
Alright. And then I go to bed.
Alright, so you all lay down, rest for the night. probably nearing about the end of your meditation periods for Esron and Cal. You kind of feel like a nudging on your shoulder, Esron, as she's like, I think we got a bit of a problem.
What's wrong?
Them?
I kind of look at the outside of the bubble. What do I see?
Yeah, so you kind of like open your eyes to look, and you can see outside the bubble. They just can't see. And you see a bunch of like upright wolves that are kind of like walking like men. They're all just kind of like sniffing sniffing the outside. They all seem to be poking your bubble.
Are they doing that wolf thing where they like press their teeth against it and like?
You're like looking around. You actually see one of them actually peeing on it.
Oh gods.
We're pretty safe in here?
Oh yes, it doesn't look like any of them are magic casters. So long as we keep it strong, I don't see them giving us any trouble. Perhaps they'll get bored and just run off.
How do we keep it strong?
I do, by staying focused.
Okay, good enough.
You're just gonna let them sniff and stuff.
Indeed.
Like some of them, you see them. Like some of them are like actually like you see over the next 4 hours while they're still out there. You see some of them are sniffing it. Other ones appear to be like look what like they trying to dig under it, and then they're finding out they can't do that. They're just like you actually see a couple of them where they actually start digging out one side, and they get like a team of like 5 of them. They're trying to actually lift it.
Oh my, they're quite persistent.
And then eventually, now at the point where like Jennifer and everyone else is waking up because it's the end of the 8 hours, it is now to the point where they're on top of the bubble and jumping on it.
I probably wake up to this.
So you wake up to wolfmen jumping on top of the bubble.
Oh,
God,
good morning,
please
Jennifer.
tell me they're dressed.
Yes, they are wearing clothes.
Ish.
Esron?
Oh, don't mind them. They're like puppies.
Okay, but how do we leave without having to deal with them?
We let them leave.
We're just gonna sit in this bubble all day.
We could.
With that, I just reach over, like, put a hand on my armor and say my word, my magical word to get, armored up.
All right, so it equips up. You're like armored up at this point.
Like, should we go talk to them and like shoo them away?
How many wolves are there?
You see about
Like 4 or 5?
I don't know. It's more like 12 of them.
Jesus.
Oh, 12. Alright.
Hey, get off the bubble.
They can't hear you.
Makes me feel better. Like,
I kind of look at the pixie with a smile. Have you all had trouble with them lately?
Oh no, they're just usually really curious.
oh, I don't know what she's saying, so.
So, while they may be curious, are they particularly violent, friendly?
Oh, they're usually more friendly. It's just they'll talk to you all day.
Well, in that case, we may walk and talk, if that's the case. And I look back at Jennifer. Well, she says they aren't particularly hostile, but they're so curious and intuitive that they'll talk your ear off for the entire day.
Oh. With that, I kind of get up and I kind of lean forward to the bubble and kind of like stick my head out.
Oh, gods.
And just my head, I'm like, hello?
And as you pop out, they're just like, ah, ah, gods, it's giving birth.
No, I'm just now. Can you get off our bubble, please?
Wait, if we keep jumping on it, will more of you come out?
Well, there's several of us in here, but if you keep jumping on it...
Do you need us to jump on to get you out? Keep jumping, boys, keep jumping!
I start squeezing past Jennifer going, one arm.
It's working! Jump harder! Jump harder!
I just walk out and I'm like, okay, It's fine. You guys don't have to jump on it. Just come on down. Why are you...
Are they still jumping on it?
No, they've kind of like stopped at this point. They've come
Okay.
down. Like, you see them now. They're like kind of like some of them are over by Cal. They're kind of like sniffing him. There's a couple over by Jennifer. They're kind of like sniffing.
Once they have the opportunity to get off the bubble, I just dispel it and just
Hello.
stand in the center.
I'm Jennifer. Nice to meet you.
So what's a Jennifer? Is it you're like the Eladrin, except you don't have. Did you cut your ears?
Nope. I'm a human.
Here's Valma and Cal
oh.
in that.
If this is what I think it is.
Probably is.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Oh yeah.
We're heading to a city near here.
City. It's fascinating.
As Tanya invited us, right? That's Ron?
The Eladrin.
They're like, oh yes, yes. Why is your and they just like kind of start poking your armor on the sides and then the back, and they're like, why do you have this hard exterior shell?
It's my armor. Wear it for protection.
Interesting. Is it difficult to sleep in?
Well, no, it comes off. Kind of looking around like, so yeah, I mean, it comes off and then I don't have to sleep in it.
Oh, okay. And you see as they're like starting to like look around like the areas where the bubble used to be, and they're kind of reaching out trying to see if it's still there. But they're like,
Oh, our friend there, he got rid of the bubble.
oh, so it is a vile manner of creature that needs to be slain.
Yes and no. He doesn't need to be slain. He's a friend.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Very well.
Well, we probably should be heading along.
Oh, maybe what's the rush? I mean,
And I kind of like, which direction do we need to head into this city?
Pixie kind of looks at you, looks to Asron.
I ask her the same question.
She kind of nods to you. She's like, okay, right this way. And she just kind of starts flying.
I look at all the werewolves. If it's your desire to converse, shall we walk and talk, my friends?
Oh, yes, that'd be wonderful. That'd be quite wonderful indeed.
And I start walking in the direction with the pixie.
I'm walking and just... So... Do you guys just live out here?
Well, yes, we do. Quite nice out here.
You guys don't have a house?
No. Shelters, yes, but houses? No.
See.
We roam. We roam from place to place. We never stay in one place for long. So always on the move. Always on the move.
See this. I pull out my little bag of candy and like pop a couple in my mouth.
Oh, what's this? What is this? What do you have?
It's candy.
What's that?
And I hand one to him.
Oh god, I hope he brought enough for the entire class.
He like takes one. He looks at it. He's like,
Eat it.
he like bites down on it. He's like chewing it in his mouth. He's kind of like got that look on his thing of like, It's like he's trying to like judge it. He's like, and eventually he's just kind of like, it has no juices. It's just rather dry.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be sweet and chocolatey and tasty.
Oh, most people know those weird elven things.
Well, no, it's a human thing.
Some would say it's a Jennifer thing.
Other people eat candy besides myself. I put a couple more
In mass.
I put a couple more in my mouth, and then I returned my bag to my side.
So they kind of walk and talk with you for a while, kind of chatting your ear off, asking you a lot of more or less mundane questions.
Jennifer is happily talking to them.
I'm watching every bit, listening to every bit of the conversation, and if it ever feels like she's getting a little too close to committing a Feywild taboo, I go like, "Yep."
Okay. No, that never arises really, but eventually you do walk for a while before they eventually do kind of just tire a bit, and they just kind of just go off on their own. They do their own thing.
Bye.
Farewell, farewell.
Well, they were nice, Esron.
I told you not to worry too much.
No, you said, actually, you said the opposite. You said I should be worried a lot.
I said not to worry about them.
So I'm getting kind of the rumblings of a storm coming through.
Oh, okay. So,
I think
as
we
you
all
guys are
actually.
continue, I'm not yet, but I probably will soon. So as you continue forward, eventually the pixie kind of like falls back and eventually comes near you, Esron, and she's just like, just so you know, they aren't that dumb. They were assessing you.
I figured as much. They had lives before those forms, didn't they? They understood everything that we were and what we were doing.
Well, maybe not completely, but curious, and whatever it is they were trying to figure out, they figured out.
I'm curious because they said it's kind of dry without juices. They were animal creatures.
Indeed, they might have been just very well referring to meats.
Yes, well, hopefully they just choose to stay away.
I still keep my senses about me, just as we go, just keep aware.
Well, they were smart enough to not start anything, so I hope that means that they're smart enough to know that they would have been in a losing fight.
Or just that they need to come back in bigger numbers, but
No. By your judge, we'll probably be long within the city by that point.
yes, we should be. As you continue through, you eventually start to see in the distance, like, basically a large city that has, like, a stone wall structure around it, and you see as there's, like, buildings within it as well. To judge, this would probably be close to where Velosa is.
Oh, cool. It's the
Yeah.
Feywild Velosa.
There it is, that's where we're heading.
Oh, wow.
Which, at the distance, it just looks like, it's a blot on the hill, but as it gets closer, you start seeing the more, what was once thought to be, like, probably just like a black or a gray wall made of stone, it actually proves to be a little bit more colorful than that. It is,
Intricate.
yeah, it is a
artistic,
stone wall. It does have, like, designs etched into it, and you can see it actually does have, like, painting on it as well.
See, humans build a wall, Eladrin built a wall, and then put some decorative art on that shit.
Yeah? You guys live for hundreds and hundreds of years. You have time.
uh,
So do we just head in? Do we have to knock?
well, since you said that we're being expected, yes?
Oh, yes, certainly.
Excellent. I suppose we'll just continue on as we have then. And I start looking for what appears to be an entrance.
Alright, which is not hard to find. She's kind of been taking you on the road to it, and you're greeted by basically this what you know as elven figures, but you as elves, you and Cal know that there's more. They're not just any elves; they're actually Eladrin.
They look even more elfy than we do.
Yes, they do. And as you come in, they kind of like give a quick nod. They're like, "Welcome to our fair city."
I give them a
And-
gentle bow.
At the same time, it's like as they bow and you give the bow, they don't really seem to acknowledge you back, but more the pixie.
Oh, they're bowing to the pixie.
Yes. So, and she kind of just gives like a little curtsy in the air and just keeps going. And eventually, you get within the city walls, and
As I'm walking by them, I'm trying to read their faces.
these ones are well. They're really stern at the moment. Like basically, if someone could be more stuck up in Esron, they somehow figured out how to do it.
Oh shit.
So they kind of have like a very serious demeanor on their face. They're just like straight faced.
I kind of walk up next to Esron. I'm like, Esron, is this amount of smug just like something that you guys have perfected over years?
I
Or
could
is it-
genetic.
say I come by it honestly then, couldn't you?
I didn't know that smug was genetic. And I'm looking at the shops as we pass by. If there's, if there's anything, cool looking.
You see a lot of shops. There's some clothing shops. You see some shops that like some stands that are like selling like fruits and vegetables. There's really not much in the ways of like meats here. You do pass by a couple places where they are advertising that they have fresh honey mead.
Is all this in Elven or Sylvan?
It's all in Elven.
Oh, okay.
I'm just looking at pictures. Because I don't speak Elven.
And as Jennifer leans into me, she's like, yes, what?
Like, if I buy something, that's not bad, right?
I wouldn't go shopping until we have permission to walk the city on our own.
Okay.
And then eventually you keep walking until you eventually get to not necessarily a really big house, but it's one of the more sizable houses in the area. And you kind of walk up and you are greeted by an Eladrin figure when you pretty much ring the door. Like, they call the door and, yes, please, come in, come in.
At this point, he's just kind of expecting that they're talking to the pixie, and he's just following her.
Yeah, she comes in and then it's kind of like everyone else follows. And then eventually he kind of like, you sit down at kind of like a sizable dining room table. She like starts speaking to him in Sylvan. She's like, these are the friends I said to help. Good, excellent, excellent. And he kind of like does some hand motions and all that, and she kind of gives him like, welcome, welcome. How was your trip to the Feywild? As he is
Quite-
now addressing the group.
Excellent. Quite pleasant. Thank you for receiving us.
Yes, well, if not at the word of one of our most notables, we'd never let you in.
I understand that this is irregular, but so are the circumstances that we find the reason for being here.
Yes, well, we've had a corruption spreading as of recent, as I'm sure you were informed. And unfortunately, one of the locations of that is here in this town. The culprit and suspect had come here in disguise as an elf with a well-known visitor to our dwelling from time to time.
One of the hand on the table just clenches into a bit of a fist.
Unfortunately, that seemed to lead to quite a catastrophic event here in the city. One of the noble families was, as far as we can tell, completely wiped out. We haven't been able to get into the house to investigate as of recently because there are spirits taking up residence at the moment.
Like ghosts?
Yes.
Should be no problem.
It's not Lady Jundias's fault.
Well, we shall reserve our judgments for that later until we have had a chance to discuss things.
The person who has her captive is a green dragon with the name of Arvid. She is currently in possession of a very, very dangerous artifact. Demonic artifact. And that's what she's using to corrupt the Feywild. As she's using it to try and corrupt things in the material plane as well.
Well then, she came here with an artifact. She's now in possession of two.
What artifact did she get?
I am not willing to discuss that with you at this time. You need to prove yourselves to me.
Okay.
As I believe you just said, no problem on taking out our ghost problem.
Yeah, it's ghosts and spirits and demons and fiends are something I have very little problems with.
If you fought so many, I see that not being a problem in dispatching these ones, and if you secure the house dwelling, I would be more than willing to part with some information at that point. As our trust in you can be more reputable.
I mean, I have, a god that can vouch for me, but yes.
Well then, it's okay. I let you have respite here for the evening, or if you would like to get started right away, free to go. The house is in a quarantined area of the city, on the north western side.
Did Lady Jundias have any friends or family within the city?
And what importance is that to you?
He kind of like taps the table for a second. And just responds in Elvish. Because I would like to get to know the associates of my mother.
Well, then it is my tragedy to inform you that the house you are about to go investigate will have the remains of those people.
His expression kind of sinks. He looks a little bit pale.
You alright, Estron?
I'll try to be.
Alright.
I do understand that none of this is her fault and that she was being manipulated. So, we hold no blame on her, but this is quite a tragedy if you now see it.
No, I agree. And everything that has been committed here must be taken care of as swiftly as possible.
Very well, then. As I said, you can have respite here, or if you wish to get started right away, feel free.
About what time of day would it be here?
It's getting close to evening at this point. Now that you've actually kind of sat down and talked a bit and all that, it's just kind of, it's now starting to creep towards the evening. So you're looking like 6 o'clock.
I suppose respite wouldn't be out of the question.
Fair
Everyone,
enough.
how do you feel about either taking care of this now or later?
Well, I mean, had a long ride. We should probably go at it in the morning.
With a little bit of rest, make sure we're in top shape.
Tippy kind of gives you a thumbs up on that one.
Alright. Let's make sure we're prepared. We humbly accept your offer of hospitality.
And while you guys are talking, like Dranesh is just like admiring the woodwork of the table and all the intricate designs on it.
So, do
Fair
you have a bath or anything that I can take and such?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely spots where you get yourself cleaned up and everything.
That's what I end up doing, get myself cleaned up, and then I guess head up to bed to be ready for the next day. Being that I can't go out in this town because no one speaks my language.
That, and if I noticed you were doing so, I would have recommended against it.
Taking Cal with me.
But you all rest for the evening, waking up the next day and kind of fully refreshed and not surrounded by wolfmen this time.
Peeing on my stuff. Well,
Alright.
after we've gotten a significant amount of rest and some form of breakfast
Be right
out
back.
of the way. Okay. I walk up to our host. If I may ask.
Yes.
You said Lady Jundius spent much time here?
Sometime here, yes.
Ooh. I suppose I'm more asking what her reputation was like here. Because I know how she is seen within the material plane, but I must admit, I don't know much about her reputation over here.
Well, we did have a great deal of respect for her, and the fact that she did stay in touch, so to speak, even though she has since far been removed from the noble families. But
Noble families?
yes, well, I mean, she was a noble, or part of a noble family, but essentially so far down in the rankings that essentially just in title alone, never in lands or any other things.
Ah, I understand. What is the name of this house?
I guess what I'm asking is if my last name is that one that I've inherited from my mom, or one that I've inherited from my dad.
I know Lavellan was the name you inherited from your dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was the one you inherited from your mom? Or did you not have that written down yet?
I never created that.
Okay. Cool. So I thought, but I was making sure. He's like, yes, this is House Morwin, which would be the what your mother's last name was before she basically her maiden name at this point.
Okay.
If there's anything else you need, feel free to let me know. But there are some things that we will not discuss until after our business is concluded.
I understand. We plan to prove our worth to you through action and not words.
Very good.
And once everyone is prepared, I politely ask for him to direct us in to where this establishment is.
Okay, so he kind of just points in the right direction, and as he's pointing it out to you, you can kind of see as there's almost cartoonishly, there is like a dark patch over just a small section of the city. It's like, just head in that direction, you can't miss it.
Oh dear. Alright.
So, as the group travels, you eventually make your way to the location, and pretty much just seeing the property grounds, you see is basically there is nothing growing there anymore. Everything is kind of dead, and you actually see is the house is still intact, but you see as a lot of it is kind of, some of it's like looks like it's been like scarred, to say the least.
Upon seeing the house, I activate one of my divine senses.
What does that go for?
60 feet? Yeah, 60 feet. It is Celestial Fiend or Undead.
Okay, so within 60 feet, you do sense a large undead presence coming from the house. And it's not like it's not one big large one, it's a bunch of little ones.
So, a lot of undead in there, Astron.
Well, if what everything we've been told about Arvid's new talents are to be believed, then they are the souls of my mother's friends.
Are you okay with this? I mean, you do know what's going to happen when we go in there.
It would be crueler to not see them pass on.